Today we're going to talk about a powerful feature in Windows 11 called Kernel-mode hardware-enforced stack protection. Does the name sound big and complicated? Don't worry, I'll simplify it for you. And you'll see how this feature can be your first line of defense against cyber attacks, especially those terrifying ransomware viruses. What exactly is this feature? How do you enable it? What are its benefits? Could it harm your system? And which cyber attacks can it stop? Stick with me to find out everything. Let's get started. First things, don't enable it just yet. I'll show you how, but it's important to first understand its advantages and potential drawbacks. By the end of this video, you'll have the freedom to decide whether to enable it or not. How to enable kernel-mode hardware-enforced stack protection in Windows 11. Open Settings from the Start menu. Go to Privacy and Security. Click on Windows Security. Select Device Security. Look for Core Isolation and click on it. You'll see Kernel-mode hardware-enforced stack protection. If it's off, toggle it on. Windows will ask you to restart your computer for the changes to take effect. If you don't see this option, your processor may not support this feature. What is kernel mode? Hardware-enforced stack protection, and why is it important? Simply put, this feature in Windows 11 provides extra protection against cyber attacks that target your system's memory. Imagine you have a safe where you store valuable items. If someone manages to force it open or enter the wrong code multiple times, they could steal what's inside. The same thing happens in computers. There's a sensitive area in memory called the stack. If a hacker manages to break into it, they could gain full control of your system. This security feature monitors the stack and prevents unauthorized changes, making it significantly harder for hackers to exploit your system. What types of attacks does this feature protect against? 1-stack buffer. Overflow attacks. What is it? Imagine pouring 1 liter of water into a 200 milliliter glass. It overflows everywhere. Similarly, if a hacker forces a program to store more data than allowed, it spills over into other parts of the system, potentially allowing them to execute malicious commands. How does this feature prevent it? It ensures that each program only uses its allocated memory space. If an attack tries to overflow the memory, Windows blocks it immediately. 2. Return-oriented programming, ROP attacks. What is it? Imagine a puzzle game where pieces need to be placed in a specific order. A hacker finds a way to rearrange the pieces differently to win unfairly. Instead of writing new malicious code, they manipulate existing code in Windows to execute harmful commands. How does this feature prevent it? Windows locks down critical code and ensures it runs as intended. If anyone tries to manipulate it, the attack is blocked immediately. 3-stack pivoting attacks. What is it? Imagine a security camera guarding the front door of a house. Instead of entering through the door, a thief creates a hole in the wall and sneaks in undetected. In this attack, hackers try to relocate sensitive system operations to bypass security mechanisms. How does this feature prevent it? Windows actively tracks all memory operations and immediately stops any attempt to move execution to an unauthorized area. Does this feature cause compatibility issues? When Microsoft first introduced kernel-mode hardware-enforced stack protection in 2023, some older software had problems with it, especially antivirus programs like Malwarebytes and certain hardware drivers. However, many updates have been released since then, and most of these issues have been resolved. But what if you enable it and experience issues? Some very old programs that haven't been updated in years might still have problems. Watch out for these signs. A specific program crashes or freezes unexpectedly. You get a blue screen of death, BSOD, when they're running certain applications. You see error messages when opening software. What to do? Try updating the affected software. If the issue persists, temporarily disable the feature and see if the problem disappears. Should you enable this feature? If you use modern and up-to-date software, enabling this feature is highly recommended. But if you rely on very old programs, especially system-level tools, test them after enabling it. If issues occur, check for updates or disable the feature if necessary. At the end of the day, your security is in your hands. If you think this feature is essential for your use case, go ahead and enable it. If you're unsure, now you have the knowledge to make an informed decision.